we've done a few of these events, and we're seeing new faces. So that means that more people are hearing about this. It's not just the same people, so that means that we're not keeping it within ourselves, we're actually spreading that message. And this is one of the things from the first comment that the people of Gaza said they wanted us to do, which was to give the dawah, to tell the people about what was happening to them. And the more people that know, the more action that we can take. So that's kind of like the background about how we came about the second convoy. We started out on a cold morning in December, and we travelled through Europe, through France, through Belgium, through Luxembourg, Germany, Italy, and Greece. One thing I can like notice is that through Europe it was very easy, but people were indifferent to what was going on. No one batted an eyelid when they saw these 80 vehicles driving through their countries. People were just going about their business. And it wasn't until we got to the border with Turkey that we realised that something special was happening. Because when we went through that border, there was thousands of people, literally thousands of men and women and children lining the streets, cheering us on, waving Viva Palestina flags, waving Gaza flags, crying for us and crying for the people of Gaza. On going through Turkey, we swelled our numbers. We were now a convoy of nearly 300 vehicles and some 500 people. And by the time we'd entered into Jordan, our numbers had swelled again. The idea was for us to enter Jordan and go to a place called Aqaba, where we was going to catch a ferry across the Red Sea, maybe 4 hours, and then into Egypt, and inshallah into Gaza. And we'd aim to get there on the 27th, which was the anniversary of the last incursion. But, I mean, I don't want to dwell on the negative too much, but the Egyptian authorities, they put a stop to that, and we had to go back all the way to Syria, and we had to change our plans. We had to catch a boat there, and we had to fly over. One of the things that happened when we was actually flying, we were on a plane, and I was sat with brother Mustafa, and he's not a very good traveller, because I was driving the vehicle, and he used to get he always used to put his seatbelt on extra tight and close his eyes and press the brake for me. And we was on this plane, and we're taxiing up the runway, getting ready to take off. And as we're getting speed, there was a boom, and we were sat on the wing, and we saw sparks coming out from underneath the wing. And so Mustafa started panicking, and I said, look Mustafa, don't worry man, the air hostesses are still cool, so unless they start fretting, then it's all right. So the plane took off, and again there was another bang, and the plane slowed down. And one of the brothers says, look man, the engine's failed, and it's stalled, it's up, we're flying on one engine now. And I said, don't be stupid, the air hostesses are still serving Coke and orange juice, so it's all right. And then an announcement came over on the microphone that there was a technical problem, and that we were going to be diverted into Damascus. And actually when we got to Damascus, they told us that the engine had actually blown up, and that they'd actually sent a new plane then. So it helped us to kind of remember in whose hand all this is, and that we have to rely on Allah for everything. Eventually we reached Egypt, and I'm not really going to dwell on Egypt. They gave us, let's say, a warm reception. They didn't shower us with flowers, they showered us with stones and bricks. But eventually they allowed us to enter into Gaza. At that time, I didn't know what to expect, because you see what's on the television, you read what's in the newspaper, and you hear the stories, and you expect to see a place that's totally devastated, and you expect to see people that are totally demoralised. When we crossed over the border from Egypt into Rafah, into Palestine, it was completely the opposite. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. People had been waiting at that border since 1 o'clock that afternoon. And there was thousands of people, men, women and children, lining the streets, so much so that we couldn't even drive. It was amazing. And they were calling us the heroes. They were calling us the heroes. And as you drive through Palestine and you're heading towards Gaza City, you're seeing beautiful buildings, you're seeing high rises, you're seeing beautiful green fields. And every now and again you'll see a building that's just been totally decimated, totally razed to the ground. Or you'll see buildings that have just been riddled with bullet holes. But in essence, it's a city like any other city. And we were driving through, and I was wondering where we're going to sleep. Because I didn't expect it to have hotels. But they had hotels just like we have here. And the people are full of so much hope. They're full of so much hope, and they were so strong. There wasn't no kind of like pity. They weren't asking for pity. I mean, Mustafa will tell you some more stories because he was stuck in Gaza for 30 days and he will tell you some more in detail stories about the actual people. But what we saw, the people were very strong and they were giving us hope. And what they said was that they want us to go back and to do 3 things to the people in the UK. First of all, is to give them dawah in terms of tell them about what's happening in Palestine. Because at the moment, no one really knows what goes on there. You don't really get no media out there. The Israelis don't let film crews in there. All you get there is from people who go there and tell you their experiences. So I'm telling you now that the people out there are very strong, but they need your help. They need you to tell other people about the atrocities that are going on there on a daily basis. Now we think about this conflict as only lasting since the first incursion on the 27th of December, but this has been going on for 60 years, and we've been asleep for 60 years. So the message is that, you know, the time is now for us to wake up and wake up other people and take action. And we might think it's a mammoth task, but if we all take one small step, we all tell one person, next time we have this gathering here, there'll be twice as many people here. So it's about the dawah. The other thing that they said, and I'm getting my warning now because I talk too much. The other thing that they said is that they need us to carry on giving dawah to non-Muslims, telling non-Muslims about their situation, and also tell people about Islam. Because there's a global thing now that all Muslims are terrorists. So whenever anyone talks about Gaza or Palestine, it's always that the Palestinians are the terrorists and the Israeli Defense Force are defending themselves. But we know that it's a different story. And we have to tell that story so people are aware, so people can actually speak out. The other thing that they ask for is your dua. Asking Allah, Azza wa Jal, to help them. And what they say is that when we make dua here, they see the results over there. And you think that this place has been occupied for so many years, but yet it has this infrastructure, it has these people. You don't get antisocial behaviour there. You don't get drunken yobs walking around the streets. You don't get people throwing litter. Everybody in that society knows the place because of our dua, inshallah. And the final thing that they require is they need money. Everything that comes into Gaza, one of the brothers said they went to one of the supermarkets and all the cans and all the bottles had scrape marks along them. And these scrape marks, because all that food comes through the tunnels. And when it comes through the tunnels, the Egyptians, they inflate the prices. So they don't want handouts. So that's what they want: money to survive. They want money to have the dignity. They don't want you to look down on them as beggars. These things have been imposed on them by another country. What we need to be doing, especially in this election time now, going to our MP and saying, what are you doing for the people of Gaza? What have you done to help them? What have you done to stop this oppression? This is what we're here to do today. Inshallah, there will be a brother, he'll be giving a talk, Brother Sheikh, about a further convoy that is going. People need to get involved. The more people that go, the more noise we make, and the more difference that we make, inshallah. So inshallah, please, brothers and sisters, comrades, take note today. Enjoy yourself, but get active, inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
Did you get it all? Jazakallah, Brother Aqeel. MashaAllah. You know, Brother Aqeel could probably stay up here speaking for about an hour, and every story he will tell you will just be exciting as the first one. When we traveled together in both the convoys, the first one and the third one, like Brother Aqeel just said, we have a duty now to pass on to the rest of the brothers and sisters who haven't been yet, and what we're going to do now further to help our brothers and sisters struggling in Palestine. And really, as the event organisers, we would like you to really ask yourself two questions